Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me at tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below for your purchase and pricing questions about this watch or any you see for sale here on Watchbox Reviews. And today we are discussing the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Control. This is the version of the watch made from 2006 to 2011, 40mm in stainless steel. It's a handsome men's all-arounder that does everything right with exceptional chronometric precision. The timepiece, a reasonable 8.8mm thick. It sits quite flush and flat on the wrist, and from lug to lug, 48mm with a spacing of 20mm between the lugs. So this is a watch that can really do just about everything. Perfect on almost any wrist size. We're going to take a look at it on my 16cm circumference wrist real quick right here. You can see my wrist 16cm circumference, and the watch sits nice and flat, flush and easy to ship underneath a tight dress sleeve or cuff, and of course across the wrist, not too broad. I recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 13.5cm circumference. It's a comfortable and handsome do-it-all watch. Now the strap that's fit is an exceptionally dark brown, large rectangular scale alligator leather strap. You can see it features an edge that is sheer in construction, so you can see the layers of construction. The monotone stitch, of course, and calfskin on the underside. You'll appreciate that this is a brand new JLC factory strap, so you'll be the first to gouge or crimp it. Made in France, it's built by Camille Fournet, the OEM original equipment supplier to JLC. JLC these days tries to cut costs on a lot of its watches, so many of them, especially the basic models, no longer include this kind of double deployant clasp. So I'm happy to see this here, a luxurious feature that you should see on every JLC watch. It provides security against droppage while donning or removing, and it features a curved chassis to trace the arc of the underside of the wrist for comfort. The case is relatively simple, and you can see that there isn't too much to it. Polished flank, polished bevel, a lug that is blended Calatrava style with the case flank, and then a little bit of a transitional bevel rounding off the edge of these lugs. There is a JLC, JL branded crown, and then a very flat bezel that's a little bit like a Patek Philippe 5107. If you want to compare the bezel shape to something familiar, a 5107 would be the point of reference. Now the dial has a lot to recommend it. First, no expenses are paired here. Although the 2017 Sector Dial Masters gave people a sense that these are entry-level watches, this one is not stripped down like those were. All of these indices, as you can see, are both diamond polished and applique. The hands, alpha style at center, have a wonderful elegance to them and a dart-like point, and they are blackened for high contrast against the satin finished silver base, so that blackened set of hands really pops. So too does the blued Lancet style counterweighted seconds hand. We have applique tri-arabics at 12, 9, and 6, and then if you look closely you can see that the individual pips of Luminova on the dial have little black borders so that they provide higher contrast by day. So everything about this dial is geared towards a premium audience, and while this would have been an entry-level JLC watch, it is not entry-level by industry standards. It is beautifully appointed. That goes for the movement as well. This is a good-looking caliber. JLC caliber 899. It's basically a free-sprung ceramic-bearing unidirectional winding upgrade of the old 889. Now the old 889 was the standard for ultra-thin automatics in the industry for a long time, and this one picks up right where that one left off. Now a few things that I want to call out. First, JLC didn't cheap out and go with a 21 or 18 karat winding mass, much less a tungsten carbide mass. Here we have a 22 karat mass bolted by polished bolts to a rotor that is skeletonized and equipped with circular Côte de Genève. Beaten away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, the balance is free sprung to take and hold precise adjustment in the face of bumps and concussions, and of course there is both a stop seconds function to stop the seconds hand and a quick set function to rapidly cycle the date. The movement, which features 32 joules, has been through the Master 1000 Hours Control, and the 1000 Hours Control was a JLC original, one of the first in-house chronometry standards that exceeded the COSC. So over 1000 hours of testing, winding efficiency, power reserve, chronometric precision, and water resistance are tested as a fully cased up watch, not as a bare movement. And the timing standard for what was once the Master Grand Tie and today the Master Control is one of the strictest in the entire catalog of acceptable variants. This watch designed and regulated to run -1 plus 6 seconds from the factory. Remember, COSC is -4 plus 6 over 24 hours. This is -1 plus 6. You can also see that it's nicely decorated. There's some engine turning underneath the balance, circular Côte de Genève, albeit honestly mechanically applied, with a mechanical bevel on the edges of the bridge. One authentic feature, of course, the blued screws fired blue and kiln oxidized. These were not blued in a chemical bath. All of this surprisingly water resistant at 50 meters, giving it a measure of protection against water that is uncommon in the dress watch industry, as most dress watch standards are 20 or 30 meters splash only. This one could probably survive a surface swim. I wouldn't push it, but it's nice to know you're getting more capability than you would expect in the dress watch genre. Of course, email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for your purchase and pricing questions about this Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Control. Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Control. It is actually quite well loomed.